Action.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harsberg and managers. I'm Vivian from the EVMD Consulting. They are my colleagues, Servin, Kadif, and Ruby. We are really sorry to hear Mr. Harsberg is going to leave Stonyville in the near future, and we sincerely hope that he will enjoy his fruitful life after his retirement. But due to this such a huge transition, Stonyville really need a clear direction for its future development. So we are here today to present you our recommendation for this. So, before everything else, I would like to have a brief review of the company's core value with all of you. First, we have summarized it into three main ideas. First, to be above and beyond. Stonyville endeavors to provide the highest quality, best taste, and all natural organic products to the customer over the world. Second, to influence others. It strives hard to transform its product into an educational tool to educate the public about the value of environmental protection, and it also serves as a tool, as a model to other companies, showing that environmentally and socially responsible business can also be profitable. Third, to be accountable. It recognizes its obligation to its shareholders that by providing them a decent return on their investment. So, because Stonyville cares so much about its core values, that's why Mr. Harsberg has the below concern when he decides the future development of Stonyville. First, can we preserve our social and environmental mission? Second, can we ensure the economic benefits for our shareholders? So actually, Mr. Harsberg has given us three options to choose and to analyze. The first one is going public through an IPO. The second one is accepting a buyout offer. The third is the working in a partnership with another company. To give you a better understanding of the three options, we have selected the key characteristics to show you. First, for the IPO, it can raise a large amount of capital for investment, and during the promotion period, you can also increase the publicity. But it is worth noting that actually you are issuing the shares to the public. That's why there will be an issue of diversification of owners. And actually you need to be transparent, so you may need to disclose all the confidential documents to the public. For the buyout offer, it is expected that you can gain the new products and technology from the buying company, and it also means a reduced competition in the market. But it is also worth noting that you will have a loss of control because the buying company will have the full control on you, and it takes time for the two different companies to integrate its different culture. And for the partnership, it is relatively more flexible because the owner is also the decision maker at the same time, and you can keep everything confidential. But the future owner will have unlimited liabilities and limited access to the capital because of the nature of this kind of business model. So after our careful consideration, we have come into a consensus that IPO would be the best option for the future of Stonyville. And in the following slides, we will talk about the key strength and prospect, as well as the preparation to be done in the next 6 months.
Thank you, Vivian. So let us compare the three options possible. More deeply, considering the Stonyville's current situations. First, partnership. Partnerships allow you to maintain your control over the company. So while working with your partners, you can still continue your effort to be more environmentally and socially responsible company. However, partnerships is limited in limited ability to raise capital. Simply forming partnerships with other companies do not bring enough money to the company. But your stakeholders want money. Your stockholders want to receive good returns on their investments. So we don't recommend partnership for Stonyville. So let's see the other two remaining options: IPO and accepting a buyout offer. Accepting a buyout offer, in terms of economic benefits, it's a great option because once you if you decide to sell your company, then you can get huge amount of money within a few weeks or few months. Then you can satisfy your stockholders by providing them decent returns on their investments. However, accepting a buyout offer means you will lose your control over your company. what if the buyout company suddenly changed their mind and not preserving Stonyville's environmental and social missions? Of course, when negotiating for buyout, the buyout company will say, "Oh, we highly appreciate your social and environmental missions, and we will keep your effort to be sustainable business." But who knows? Suddenly, the buyout company changed their mind and just organic food, so there's no pesticide, no GMO, no chemical fertilizer. It's too complicated, and also care about sustainable farming, and also educate consumers about environmental protection, sustainable farming. It's too complicated. It's too much. Then, what could you do? Nothing. You can't do anything because you already lost your control over your company. You don't want to be like this. That's why we don't recommend a buyout for Stonyfield. Instead, we recommend IPO. If you issue stocks less than 50% and hold more than 50% of your stock, Stonyfield can be a controlled company, and still you have enough influence on making major decisions of the company. While maintaining your control, you can earn high possible economic benefits in the long term. In the short term, IPO might be not appealing as accepting a buyout offer because launching an IPO does not provide instant huge money. However, recently, people's awareness of the sustainability and people's preference of organic food are very rapidly increasing. So following this trend, if Stonyfield keeps running on its business and firmly holding its environmental and social missions to provide good, best quality organic food and give benefits to the society and the environment, then we expect Stonyfield will gain capital slowly but continuously, and eventually in the long term, Stonyfield will more economically successful company.
So you may doubt the outcome of these benefits. Actually, after having an IPO, it is foreseeable that Stonyfield will become a controlled company. So what is a controlled company? How does it work? I'm going to show you now. After having an IPO, you have to issue shares. And by holding more than 50% of the shares, you can control the voting, which means that having a huge voting block, you can have the ultimate right to make any decision. For example, when you are having a shareholders meeting for electing for a new CEO, you can appoint anyone you like, or you can even nominate yourself to be a new CEO. Oppositely, you can also fire the existing CEO. So every action you make will cause a very profound effect to our company. So with this power, you should always be careful. So here are some examples for some successful controlled company. Walmart, an American multinational retail corporation. It took an IPO more than 40 years ago. Initially, its stock price is only $8 per share, and now it has increased to $85, which is more than 10 times. But what I want to emphasize here is not its stock price, but its ownership. Walmart is actually a family-owned company. It has issued 3 billion shares, which Wharton family own 1.55 billion of that, which is about 51% and more than half. It means that the family has been controlling the company since its establishment. Another example is Facebook, an online social media company founded by Mark Zuckerberg in 2003. It took an IPO in 2012, and only 6 years, its stock price has increased from $38 to about $180. It is increasingly about 4.6 times. So how does he make it? Actually, Facebook has a different share structure. It issues 3 types of shares, named A, B, and C. Only investors holding stock A and B can vote in the shareholders meeting. But for stock C, it is only a kind of investment stock, and it does nothing more than making money. So by offering most stock C to the public and keeping most of the A and B, Mark Zuckerberg can control the company since he found his company. Last but not least, Aramark, an American food service provider. It took an IPO in 2013, and let's see his data. Its stock price increased from $20 per share to $45 per share, which is about two times. It actually changed its development direction to sustainability and has been focusing on producing new and healthy products in the recent decade. What I want to show you here is that even though after having an IPO, it can still maintain its company growth while keeping its sustainability missions. So throughout these examples, I believe that our company can follow these companies to went public, and we believe that our company can be larger and bigger, and while maintaining our growth and maintaining our sustainability missions.
Since IPO is really a big event, there's much work to do, such as turning over the paper materials to stock exchange and roadshow for stock promotion before the company formally goes public. You have to get fully prepared in the next couple of months. Here we are going to give you some recommendations in 3 vital perspectives. First step, you need to build a strong and reliable management team to help you manipulate the whole complex process. Considering the present CEO Samuel is about to retire, you better start searching for a new and qualified one. And after the team is complete, you may offer them stock compensation and form a stock incentive system. In this way, everyone's interests will be tied together, which encourages them to work hard in implementing the IPO. Also, in the long run, it can help avoid agency problem and keep the talents. Next, since IPO requires a thorough financial disclosure, you have to develop a credible financial report system. Your clerks need to adopt IPO-accepted accounting principles when making financial statements. And as you know, every financial statement needs an external audition from an accounting firm. I would suggest you choosing a trustable audit firm, such as the Big Four, because these companies will increase the reliability of your financial information. And at last, you need to wisely determine the value and the number of the shares you are going to issue. An investment bank can provide you with underwriting service and professional advice on how to launch an IPO. So keep in close touch with it and make discussions on this issue. Of course, despite of the help from an investment bank, you need to do your own part of job, like estimating the company's net asset and researching the stock market so that you can decide the proper price range of the stock that is low enough to attract investors, but also raise the capitals as much as possible. Since Stonyfield always has a concern of losing the company's control and failing to pursue its social and environmental commitment, we advise Stonyfield to issue no more than 50% of the stocks. In this way, you can have the majority ownership of the company, which means you have the biggest say on deciding the company's future directions. In conclusion, Stonyfield wants to keep its environmental commitment and boost profits at the same time, which leads to the solution of IPO because it can provide the company with a promising economic development without the sacrifice of corporate control. And to tackle the challenges you may encounter and to help you launch a better IPO, we just give the 3 main suggestions for you. And we hope this whole consultation can help your company succeed in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Some good ideas there. You talked about a number about the value of the IPO, giving a number of positive examples, Walmart, Facebook, and Aramark, but can you think of any negative IPOs and its impact on the company?
Yeah, IPO does have some negative impacts, like mentioned in the case, it may lose some of the control because you release some stocks to the public. Like everyone can be a stockholder of your company, but we think we can issue no more than 50% so that you can control it and it can be solved by some plans or system.
What I mean is, thank you, but what I was referring to is that IPOs where they did not make a lot of money and the impact on the company. You're assuming that all IPOs make money.
Oh, yeah.
Not all IPOs make money. Have you considered any, especially within our own industry, within dairy products, that it has not brought in that much money?
Yeah, there are some examples of IPO that doesn't bring much money, but there are many successful examples, and I think by starting these successful companies, Stonyfield can learn their patterns and do well because it has already achieved some success in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.